This is Pastime Viewpoints and something you've never heard in a while. A Raw podcast discussion.
You serious?
And of course, it is me. It's me, the JEFF.
Yay! Wait.
Yeah. And I've got Gil, the GIL, and Thomas, the employee. How's it going, guys?
Doing good.
Not bad.
So, I know you guys don't watch Raw anymore. Gil, you haven't been watching since Royal Rumble. Thomas has been way before that, but, you know, we started talking, and I've always been wanting to keep this up. Gil has at least agreed to, do this from time to time, and then Thomas, we just threw him in because we want to try something different.
I may not watch it, but I do still keep up with it. I do read the results and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you can't really miss all that much.
I know, but you're at least missing the headaches. You're not watching the pain and agony that is this road to WrestleMania. And
from what I can hear, yes.
That's what this is. This is the road to WrestleMania. You cannot tell from what the product we're getting is. They're hardly hyping any matches. The main storyline that was hyped tonight was Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, and honestly, there was no reason to.
I know, in all honesty, is there even any more reason to give it any more hype? I mean, seriously, it's the same formula. Bryan does something, Triple H gets mad. Triple H attacks Bryan, and Bryan says, "You can't keep me down."
Yeah, and I mean, it's the same thing, and now what we saw for the opening of Raw was Triple H came out and yay. And he's talking about all this, about his match with Bryan, and then Batista comes out and says, "Hunter, how the hell could you do this? I don't want that little goat face in this match with me." And then Randy Orton comes out and blotters out on the same thing. He's like, Triple H is pissed. He's just he's gone over. And he's like, you know what? He tells off Batista and Randy Orton. And then he's like, at WrestleMania, one way or another, the main event's going to be triple threat. Because whoever wins between me and Daniel Bryan goes on to the main event. So now Triple H can go to the main event. Now, essentially what this is, it makes sense on paper. Because last week, it was if Daniel Bryan wins, he gets added in. So essentially, you already knew Daniel Bryan's going to win.
Right.
Because now, throwing Triple H in, it doesn't change anything. That'd still be 3 heels in the match. WWE doesn't even want 2. You know Triple H is not winning this.
That is true.
I mean,
so at least now they can try to swerve us.
Well, yeah.
Unless, of course, they have this plan to turn Batista face before WrestleMania.
No, they just turned him heel. Because they said they were going to wait until after WrestleMania to turn him heel. But because the crowd was so against him, they went ahead and upped it. They're not going to turn him back to a face because the crowd's not going to cheer for him. There's no way they can get this crowd on Batista's side. Batista has worn too many skinny jeans to get us back on his side.
Almost wonder now if they might even do a cop out and make it a fatal 4-way and have it Triple H Bryan goes to a double decision or something, so they just go, fuck it, we'll both be in the main event.
That's been in the back of my head. I just never wanted to say anything because it just it makes too much sense in the sense of WWE.
Yeah.
So it scares me because I don't want that to happen. It's bad enough as it is. And speaking of bad, the tag team division. For weeks now, we've seen, I've been watching Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger butting heads, saying, my dick's bigger than your dick. No, my dick's better than your dick. And Zeb Coulter going, guys, get along. Really, guys, get along.
You both are well endowed, okay?
Yes. So tonight what we saw was the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos, versus the dysfunctional team of the Real Americans.
Right.
So of course the dysfunctional team wins. Because they weren't building up to anything anyway with that.
Right.
So we had a potential match between Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro at WrestleMania.
Right.
But is this now thrown out the window for the Usos and Real Americans? Or are we still going to get something else?
I know, seriously, I think they at this point, it seems like they might be setting up a tag team title match between the Usos and the Real Americans.
And a follow-up question. Where the fuck are the New Age Outlaws? Because apparently they still have a title match.
Hopefully gone.
Well, no, they were supposed to have their title rematch, and then they kind of said, oh no, we're sick, but I haven't seen them since.
Yeah, just remember, Crime Time
So
was
when was
supposed to
that?
have a title match, but they never got it.
That was a couple of weeks ago. Like, it was right after the Usos won the titles. They were supposed to have a rematch, and then they came out and said, no, we're kind of sick. Billy's a little Road Dogg's under the weather, and Billy's kind of hurt, or something like that. Well, it was one of the two like that.
Maybe they legit are, so they have to take time off. Because I'm pretty sure one of them had a bad fall.
But it still doesn't make sense. And then to have all these issues, and you had Swagger and Antonio Cesaro facing off against Big E week after week, and that leads to nothing now.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was the point of this animosity? Unless they're still going to build up to the breakup between the Real Americans, but
unless they're going to have the breakup take place at WrestleMania.
But they worked too well as a team tonight. That's the thing. There was no real dysfunctionality between the two.
That is true.
So that's what makes it even more confusing.
The match.
Well, yeah, I mean, just from what I know, just this whole thing seems secondary, you know?
Everything is secondary right now.
Exactly.
It's amazingly bad how poor this WrestleMania card is being built up. Like, I'm not even joking. This is just terrible. Because I'm going to go ahead and jump into the 30-man battle royale, and if you listen to our TNA podcast, you heard that I did a podcast by myself, but the audio was so bad I couldn't post it. And I talked a lot. On this match. And I'm going to do it here now. I'm going to try to keep it a little shorter, though.
Right. Well,
this match is nothing but filler. That's all this match is.
Well, yeah.
You're going to have 30 people in this match. And they win a trophy. And they announce tonight that they're going to carry it around for a year. What's the purpose? Exactly.
Yeah.
Big Show's been announced. Mark Henry's been announced. Big E, Ryback.
I mean, okay,
Curtis Axel.
Now's the time for me to insert a Japan reference here, because, in all honesty, this podcast needs it. Okay. New Japan Pro Wrestling has tournaments like the New Japan Cup, and also the G1 Climax. Both of them, if you win them, you get a trophy. But, if you get a trophy, you are also awarded a title match. That you know, in the future.
Yeah, see,
what is this thing
question,
doing?
Are they going to insert this because I don't think anyone gives a damn about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Granted, Hulk Hogan's like, I'm announcing this, brother. And then it doesn't seem like there's any sort of qualification to come in this. All you have to do is say, I'm entering myself into this. There's nothing. There's no rhyme or reason. Oh my god. I have yet to hear where if they're going to have any surprise entrance at that. So, you have this chance for, again, surprise entrances like the Royal Rumble.
Right.
So, my real question here is this just them trying to redo the Royal Rumble because of how poorly that was?
Probably.
This is probably just them trying to get everybody on the card.
But they're not going to put everyone on the card, and you know that. Like in my podcast, I said some of these wrestlers will be double booked for the pay-per-view.
Right.
We already know Triple H or Daniel Bryan or both will be double booked. I guarantee that they're gonna have to have other matches on this card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to the official website right now for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see all the matches announced currently.
Wouldn't be many.
No, there's not. That's the thing.
I know.
And they've only got
okay,
like 3.
and
They've
what's-
only got like what, 3 weeks?
Yeah,
Out of
they have 3 weeks to
curiosity,
go.
what's going on with the mid-card titles right now?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay,
nothing.
here are the matches so far. Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. The winner enters the world title heavyweight match. Randy Orton versus Batista, and then there's going to be an extra person. That's 2. That's 2 matches. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar.
4 matches.
Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale.
5.
5 matches for a 4-hour event.
And including a pre-show.
Yeah, an hour-long pre-show at that. 5 hours. That is 5 hours they have to fill. You're telling me...
If anything, that might be why that Battle Royal will probably end up on the main show. They'll probably just make that take an hour.
But here's the thing, though. There's rumors that could open, that could be on the pre-show. Which, why? You have 3 weeks till WrestleMania, and 5 matches announced for a 4-hour event. Your biggest event of the year. Where is the undercard? They're all in this Battle Royale.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where's the tag team titles in all this?
Where's the United
Where's
States
the-
title? Where's the
Exactly.
IC title?
Well, the IC title is going to be in this match. And see, that's the thing. We're going to jump ahead here.
And what's
The
AJ
Shield.
Lee gonna do?
Well, okay, no, I'm going to hold off on AJ Lee.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole thing on that itself. We're not going to talk then. I'm going to jump ahead though to the Shield, because the Shield, they flipped the Shield's face apparently.
Right.
3 weeks before WrestleMania. It makes no sense because on Friday night they were listening to Triple H, and then by the end of the night they were attacking Kane. And then this week, Kane was insisting that Jerry Lawler help Daniel Bryan, and called out the Shield, and then the Shield said, "Don't worry, we'll be sure to like justice or something like that." And then they turn and attack Kane.
So what?
So
They're
in
now
other words-
now going back to the justice stick.
So in
Well,
other
no,
words,
but-
there's no continuity between
No.
SmackDown and Raw.
Well, no, the thing is, they're just like throwing them into as faces now for no you have no clue what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do, and what does it have to do with Kane? Is Kane going to face 1, 3, 2? What's going on? You have 3 weeks till WrestleMania. Nothing planned for Kane. Nothing planned for the Shield.
Right.
What are you doing? Like, seriously?
What's sad is that we know without a shadow of a doubt at this point that there is not going to be a US title match.
No!
It'll be Shield in either a tag match or in a
Because
triple threat against each other.
the big rumor was it was going to be all 3 members of the Shield facing for the U.S. title, which would make sense.
With
Because they were
Roman Reigns coming out on top, starting his super push.
Yeah, and you keep the other 2 as a heel
Mm-hmm.
because they had been building all this tension, and then out of nowhere they say, "Nope, we're back as a faction again."
Yeah.
Come on.
That looks like exactly what they seem to be doing with the Real Americans, going by what you were saying before.
Well, exactly. But
They're like, they
the Real
set
Americans-
up some sort of dissension and then just go, no.
yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
It's just
Like, if they're face teams, then fair enough, but doing that with heel teams and then just brushing it off doesn't make any sense.
Well, but it's the switch from heel to face so close to WrestleMania. How is the crowd? I mean, the crowd's cheering, but it's only because they're.
And
it's
who the hell
Kane.
is there for the Shield to face anyway? Even if it was like Kane, but Kane and who?
See, that's the thing.
There's no one left in the Authority because they're all in other matches.
And see, they've been building up Christian and Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler and Alberto Del Rio, but they're all in this tag team. They're all in the Battle Royale. So I have this sneaking suspicion those 4 are going to get double booked because they keep playing this Sheamus and Christian, even though they face each other on Raw and SmackDown every week in some capacity.
I'd really prefer Antonio Cesaro versus Sheamus, going by their little bit in the Elimination Chamber match.
Well, but see, now here's the thing though. I'm not joking here. Sheamus and Christian have almost been in a match every week on
Right.
both
Yeah.
shows. This is the first week that I can remember they didn't. Sheamus
So
had a
pretty
match.
much this is turning into Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler from like a few years back.
Well, yeah, and then you got Dolph Ziggler and Alberto Del Rio, and they kind of been facing off against each other left and right, and they still seem to have this thing going. But it's like, what's the point? What's the payoff for either one of these two things? There's no payoff.
Yeah. I
This
get
is
what
why
you're
they
saying.
should go back to 2 hours.
Because, well, and see, now here's the thing, though. Last week, we saw Sheamus and Christian in a Memphis street fight. They've been in a they were in a street fight. Where does this go? Where do you go after a street fight?
Nowhere,
Logically.
by the looks of it.
Right.
And then Alberto Del Rio and Christian, I don't give a fuck about either character. So, I mean, it's just like, what are you doing? You could be building up single matches, giving them some actual time and effort. But
Right.
no, you're going to throw together this battle royale, which...
See, the thing is,
And-
for those matches that you're talking about, this is really where they could be putting the mid-card titles into play here. They could be fighting for a number one contendership spot or something. But they aren't, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Competitors...
Like,
Okay.
even the friggin' Dolph Ziggler and... Oh god, who was it? Was it Dolph and Fandango or something like that, who were having, like, sort of matches randomly on Raw, and then they... Oh, no, wait, no. It was Dolph and Sandow.
Yeah.
Who were having, like, random matches,
yeah.
and then it
and
led
they had
to
the people voting
and then
for
it
the
led
matches.
To, yeah. And then it, like, led to a number one contenders match. Finally. That
Now-
was, like,
now see, now
which Sandow won and then lost to Big E.
Yeah. Now, let me say this for the Battle Royale. Right now, there's only 11 people announced. 11. 3 weeks until the show. There's only 11 people announced, and they just announced.
Who do you want to bet that some of the 30 are going to be like NXT guys?
They're gonna have to be.
Mm.
Or how many of these old timers are they gonna get to come in and do this?
Hopefully
No.
Xavier Woods actually ends up in it to make up for the fact that they cut him out of the Royal Rumble.
Zack Ryder's not gonna make it in. And see, R-Truth and Xavier Woods, they've not been on the show in months. Like, they just disappeared altogether. Both of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure Woods was on Raw or SmackDown after the Rumble, because I remember seeing a clip or something where he was
something,
joking.
he
He was like
nothing big.
joking with he was like joking with JBL about how JBL took his spot in the Rumble.
Yeah. It was like right after. But okay, I want to go. Well, let's go ahead and move on from here because we still got a lot of topics.
Well,
They
before
had
we
a
move
ran-
on, Before we
Okay.
move on, I just want to say something about this. What we're seeing here is WWE not managing their roster properly.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is just show. I mean, you said Xavier Woods and R-Truth have not been seen at all. I mean, think about that for a second. And then look at what I know we probably shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Look at what TNA is doing. I read the spoiler.
Yeah.
What?
Taboo. That does not exist.
Okay, let me put it this way. They're rotating their talent. In other words, they'll book some talent on one show one week, then the next week they'll book some other talent and feature them, then they'll go back, and then they'll go... In other words, they make sure everyone gets featured during the month.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is true.
Like-
which WWE has failed to.
Honestly,
And- Well,
honestly, that's what's funny. I think TNA could actually do a better show with 3 hours than WWE's doing.
But see, now here's the thing, though. The WWE they have a network now. So they're putting more time and effort into the network.
The
which I've
network
talked with.
and into Total Divas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because that's the real soap opera. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and move on from there. Leave this at that because, I mean, we've voiced our opinions before on Royal Rumble. Me and Adam have done this enough, and we still got a lot to complain about.
Right.
I want to talk about this random matchup between Sheamus and Titus O'Neil because, and I mean, as you guys know, Titus O'Neil had gone heel, so he could be a big solo player because Darren Young was holding him back.
He basically pulled a Brodus Clay.
Yeah, he came out dressed as
pretty
an
much.
Irish, which it was stupid. And then he loses. And all this match was done for, the only reason for this match was because Christian was on commentary and they had this little interjection between the two at the end of the match. And before the whole thing, there was Hornswoggle, Bad News Barrett, which, oh my god, I'm gonna stop there with Bad News Barrett because that's just, yeah.
That thing has like run its course already.
That thing ran its course way before it started. Hopefully he wrestles at WrestleMania.
I was gonna say, put that guy in a match, seriously.
If anything, he'll be in the 30-man
Well,
battle
see, he was
royal
supposed to be in the
thing.
Royal Rumble too.
I was gonna say, he's basically getting the Alex Riley, the Matt Stryker treatment, the Funaki treatment, you know?
Yoshitatsu,
Uh-huh.
Mason Ryan. He'll be in NXT in a month. Homing his skills because he's not good enough for the main roster. Okay, now that's enough. We're getting really off topic here with Wade Barrett because he just plays a small part anymore.
As far as Sheamus beating Titus O'Neil goes, why?
It served no purpose. It just to push
Yeah,
more
Titus,
Christian and Sheamus feud.
Honestly, it would have. And that's the funny thing. Sheamus didn't have to win
No, he didn't.
to further that feud. And Titus O'Neil,
But you know why they
they're
did.
kind of like iffy. They're kind of iffy because the crowd didn't seem to give a shit
why he won
about
that match tonight.
Titus and Darren. But come on, you
Hey.
need to do something.
Hey, we all know why Sheamus won that match. It's St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
So, Black History Month, and they break up a black tag team.
And they had Hornswoggle, all in danger, so of course he had to win. But, okay. Moving on to one of the things that WWE is trying to promote. John Cena responded to the Wyatt family. And, what can I say? It was a typical match.
It was a typical Cena promo.
I'm not gonna... Well, no, actually, he did admit he's scared of he's scared of the Wyatts.
Yeah, but do you really believe that? I mean, can you actually take something like that seriously? Especially after the way John Cena's been booked these last 10 years?
Yeah, it just... You're not buying this.
Well, that's just it. They don't really make Cena necessarily seem fearless these days. It's just that it takes a bit to actually
He beat Rowan.
have his character be that way.
He beat Rowan with a roll-up last week. He beat one of the members of the Wyatt family by rolling them up.
And if anything, I think they're really just having him say that to put over Bray Wyatt.
But Bray doesn't need Cena to put him over. Bray's doing a good enough job on himself.
No, I mean, instead of Cena being like, I've seen this kind of thing before, fuck it.
Well, but, okay.
Sort of thing.
We're talking about the Cena promo. I'm also going to talk about Bray's promo against Cena. Which, they introduced one, again, 3 weeks before the show, they finally introduced one of the theme songs for WrestleMania. It's Eminem's Legacy. Which, this whole match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt is about John Cena's legacy.
Why?
That's what I was hoping you could tell me. Why is... Because Bray Wyatt is saying, John, you're just hiding, you're a superhero hiding behind a mask.
Yeah, I know.
You're lying to these people.
CM Punk said that.
You're not who you say you are.
Daniel Bryan said that.
I know.
Heck.
It's the same thing we're getting with everyone else. It's the same Cena thing, the same Cena person. Bray Wyatt is going to lose.
Right.
Because John Cena rises above. He has yet to look weak by the Wyatts. Because every time the Wyatts have been interjected in some way or form, Cena's already been beaten down before. And then, like I said, last week he faced off against Rowan. And he beat Rowan with a roll-up victory. He didn't attitude adjust him. He didn't STF. He rolled him up for the victory.
Right.
What's the point? There's no real progression in this. And again, they just announced the match last week. between John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Yet they've been building it up since Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
You'd think the night after the Elimination Chamber, it'd have been announced right there.
Yeah.
Because
especially since these days, they seem to just announce a match, then try to build it up, rather than
and
building it up
and
then announcing it.
They cost Cena a shot at the world title.
Mm.
So, but Cena's like, I don't care. I'm not going to seek revenge yet.
Which seems very against character.
Exactly.
Like, it seems he would have been he would have gone to Triple H and be like, I want Bray in a match.
And now we have... Okay, we didn't talk about this during the whole openings thing because I don't care. Randy Orton demanded a match against Daniel Bryan, no disqualification, so he could show Batista how to beat Bryan. So, of course, Bryan gets his ass kicked during this match.
Uh-huh.
But the end comes when Randy Orton gets speared by Batista, who supposedly left the building. And then Daniel Bryan kicks Batista out of the ring, pins Orton for the victory. So again, Bryan did not deliver the finishing move here. He just picked up the scraps from Batista. And then Batista came in with his skinny jeans, and Batista bombed Randy Orton. And God bless whoever made those skinny jeans to withstand that Batista bomb. Props to you.
They would have ripped.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, again...
More of the same.
It does nothing...
How many times have we seen Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan in the last 7 to 8 months?
But even then, though, what does this do for the main event at WrestleMania? Oh, Randy Orton got pinned? Kofi Kingston pinned him like a month ago.
Yeah. Look, we're basically pointing out WWE's problem here. They have so much time on their hands, and between now and WrestleMania, and they don't know how to fill it all up.
Yeah, because you get the same thing on SmackDown as you do on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it makes no sense. And of course, another big match is partially built up here. And I was talking about, I don't know if I talked about this on the discussion page on the chat on the website. I think I was talking more about it one-on-one with another person. But Paul Heyman came out to talk about the match between Undertaker and Brock Lesnar.
Right.
And honestly, I'm not hyped for this match.
Well, yeah, and in a way,
since square one, it's been. I've told you how this thing is being built up, right?
It's Taker and Brock Lesnar's own fault because they're part-timers.
Well, no, the thing is though, is how they built this up. There was no reason for the Undertaker to come out there and challenge Brock Lesnar. Neither Undertaker gains nothing from this match, and Undertaker's the one who came out and did it. Brock Lesnar was more pissed off because he wanted a title shot, and he's like, "Well, we're just gonna walk off and leave." And then the Undertaker shows up.
Well, yeah, and
why would the Undertaker come out?
Well, you see, another thing, it probably would have been better if Undertaker would have actually emphasized and mentioned the fact that he's never beaten Lesnar at a pay-per-view. And that he wants to do it.
And that's a point that Thomas has made a long time ago on why this should work. But that's something I point out though. WWE is not going to address that. They've not yet to address this. Last week it was Undertaker was going to make an announcement. Paul Heyman comes out, does all the talking, and then Undertaker goes, "Rest in peace." But Heyman's promo last week was simply, John Cena has won this many times at WrestleMania, but lost. Hulk Hogan did the same. He named all these people. Like, Undertaker, 21 is going to be your final, even though no one else has gone over 5 wins. That was the promo last week. This week, I didn't even pay attention to what he said. and then the icing on the fucking cake. The Undertaker is going to he's going to be on TV on Main Event.
Really?
Yes. They announced that the Undertaker will address stuff on Main Event.
You know, and I think I know why they're doing this.
That live now?
I think I know why they're doing this.
It's live now, yes, but
listen, I think I know why they're doing this. Their contract is almost up with Ion Television, and they want to get it renewed.
But here's the thing, though. It's going to air tomorrow on the network live.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So this is airing live tomorrow night.
Okay, so in other words, this is their way of
see it live.
Yeah, okay, they're pushing the network then.
Yes, but again, why? Why waste the Undertaker on the network? Put Heyman on the network. Put the Undertaker on Raw, where he needs to be.
Right.
Well, that's just it. They want to up the ratings for main event.
I don't care. They could replay the Undertaker's promo like they do everything else.
That's the weird thing, because like main event started as actually using people that were main eventers at the time, or at least upper mid carders.
Well, they had them start the show off, and then the Undertaker ended the show.
Every secondary show has started like that. Even Superstars was like that in the beginning.
Yeah, and then it just kind of fluttered away. But
and then
again,
10 years back, even Sunday Night Heat was like that.
Yeah. But again, back to my point though, this match, there's no reason. It's all about Brock Lesnar just beating the record. What does Brock gain? He's the first person in the streak, but what does the Undertaker gain? Like CM Punk last year wanted to prove that, like 434 days and all that, but that made sense. Triple H 2 years in a row made sense. Shawn Michaels 2 years in a row made sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. You have a 1 month build-up. They should have started this at the Rumble. Instead, they held out on this whole thing because at the Royal Rumble, we already knew Brock Lesnar was not going to challenge for the world title.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't even show up at Elimination Chamber, his hometown.
Right.
So they wait until that Monday after the Elimination Chamber to have them come out and say, we're going to walk away from the WWE. Do this before the Chamber match. That should have been done before. And then have the Undertaker return before then. You hype up, you make it look like something might go on at the Elimination Chamber. Increase views right there.
Oh yeah, hell. Like, at Royal Rumble after his match when he was beating up Show, they could have had the lights go out and do like sort of teaser video on the Tron.
And that would be some sort of purpose on why this actually happens, because, But
they have history at the Royal Rumble as well, so it would have made sense to start something there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so pointless at this point. Now, we're going to talk about probably the most entertaining thing of the show was Fandango versus Goldust.
Yes, I mean, just from what I read, I actually do want to check this out. I haven't watched Raw yet, but, if there's something... But, okay, I don't watch Raw in its entirety. I, pick and choose, the segments that I watch out of Raw.
This is one I would actually suggest going and watch out of the entire show.
I know, and just from what I read about it, it looks like it's something worth checking out.
Yeah.
Just
Goldust and Fandango have some good comedy. Now, it does get sloppy in the end, but I believe it's because that Fandango and Goldust knocked heads at one point, which I think caused a little bit of the stuff at the very end, but it was very short. I think they might have ended it a little earlier, too, because of that. Goldust kind of had a cut, but they didn't stop the match.
Right.
I mean, and there was a great little thing in there where Fandango and Goldust were kind of going about dancing at it, doing this little dance stuff, and then Summer Rae gets on the ropes and it's calling out Goldust, and then you just kind of see him go up. He goes up and he's trying come in here and dance with me. Come in here and dance with me. Oh, come in here and dance with me. And then he gets real close and goes at her, and then kind of snips at her. And what happens is she falls backwards off the ropes, but Cody Rhodes is right there and catches her, and he just holds her. He stands there with her, holding her in his arms for 3 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes straight, and he's just looking at her going, "Yeah, I just saved you," and then she starts flirting with him. It was great.
Possibly a tease for a split between Fandango and Summer Rae?
No.
Or
just a match between the two at WrestleMania?
No.
Unlike the pre-show?
No. This was nothing. It meant nothing.
So yeah, in other words, it was a glorious
for that
accident.
To be for that to be the highlight of the show for me personally. I mean, are we seeing a problem here? A little comedy sketch I found amusing that has nothing to do with WrestleMania. This was the most amusing thing for me. And I recommend this to go watch this out of everything.
And just from what I read, yes. And this seems like the most amusing thing out of here.
For 3 hours and 17 minutes. And yes, I said 17 minutes. They went over 17 minutes tonight. Granted, a couple of weeks ago, they went like 20 to 25 minutes over. And that was the Batista versus Daniel Bryan match.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, moving on from that, we already talked about Kane and the Shield. There was a Divas tag team match with the Funkadactyls. The one finally came back.
Naomi?
Cameron and Naomi.
But one of them finally came back from injury.
Naomi.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that was
Naomi.
Yeah, that was Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi has an eye patch on now.
Yeah.
Which, can I ask a question?
Can they keep that?
No. Is it really that safe for Naomi to have an eye patch on in that mat in the ring?
Oh.
Come on.
Point.
They already get injured.
That being said, that being said, there have been blindfold matches. So
yeah, but those were actually trained wrestlers who actually know what's going on.
Hey, be fair, Naomi's actually pretty good out of the divas they've got.
But I mean,
she's probably the first diva I've ever seen do a split-legged moonsault.
No.
And Naomi was like the only promising one
Lita
other
do
than
a split-legged
AJ.
moonsault?
I don't think I ever
she
saw
did
her
a
do
normal moonsault.
Yeah.
She did
normal.
But I mean,
She did a normal one and a diving Hurricane Rana, and that was basically her
but
stick.
again, and now the ending of this match saw the same thing. AJ Lee gets pinned.
Yes.
Now, I believe at the time when I was trying to post my comment, I don't remember if it came up or not because something happened with Facebook, where Facebook actually went down for a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But this has been the MO for the WWE right now with AJ Lee. She's in a tag team match. She gets pinned by somebody. She's been pinned by Nikki, Natalia,
basically every total diva.
Naomi, yeah, except Summer Rae and Eva Marie. And then, so they're saying,
probably
who's gonna be able to be? But Nikki's already faced her. Nikki lost. So what they're doing is they're
Well,
having
that's
to
just
lose.
it. She's had the title for like close to a year now, so they're probably just doing. If anything, it'll either end up as like some multi-diva elimination match or some shit at Mania, or like.
Well, no, hold up there. Now hold on there, player.
Or like
I've not finished talking about the Divas match here. Because what happened after the match, which, okay, now, you guys, I want you to stop me if you've heard this in the past few weeks. Okay? You ready for me to finish this now? Okay. So, AJ Lee is pinned. And she's getting up after the match, and Lady Tapa, Snuka is kind of standing there, and you see them start to argue with each other. So, AJ Lee's like, oh, it's your fault we're losing. It's your fault I'm losing. It's your fault. And should I keep going with this, or can you all put the rest of this together?
Yeah, I think I get it. Once again, dang it, TNA went into the future and stole one of WWE's ideas. Good grief, my gosh. What is wrong with that company? They're going out of business.
That's the funny thing, like, when I was catching up on Impact, like, a few days ago or something, and I saw the Gail Kim, Lady Tapa breakup, I was like, wow, they actually beat WWE to the punch with that.
They did. I mean, it's just...
and that was out of nowhere, too. There was no build-up for that one.
Yeah.
It just happened.
It's just
in this one, there was, like, actual... like, the funny thing is the AJ Lee, Tamina thing, there's kind of been build-up, but not really at the same time. Because, like,
Tamina's
back at...
a few matches before. She almost cost the title against Nikki.
Yeah, and Cameron at Elimination Chamber. She like went for Cameron, but Cameron moved, so she's like knocked out AJ or something temporarily.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing going on with the Divas right now, and it looks like we're gonna get some battle royale
honestly,
for the Divas title.
You know, if they actually do a singles match at WrestleMania, which honestly, I'd almost prefer like a gauntlet match. But like at the same time, if what we get is a one-on-one match for the Divas title, out of all the choices, I'd pretty much want AJ versus Tamina, because at least that way you've got, oh, how is this tiny little woman gonna overcome Tamina?
But we've seen this with Natalya.
That ends up being more of a submission thing, though.
Yeah, I guess, but
honestly, like, hell, if it was like a triple threat, Natalya, Snooker, and
it's gonna be a
AJ,
it's gonna be a multi-match, guaranteed. They're gonna have to have something.
Yeah,
but
like a gauntlet match wouldn't be too bad.
But here's the thing: what about the rest of the Divas on the card? What are the rest of the Divas gonna do?
Well, that's just it. That's
Oksana,
why I say gauntlet.
Alicia Fox. What are they supposed to do? They're not going to be. They don't have any momentum going for the title.
Mm-hmm.
It's all total Divas. Except
that's what I
Summer
mean. Like,
Rae.
since they've had, if anything, it'll either be like some sort of gauntlet match with them all in it, or as you were saying, like a battle royal for the title or something, or even just like, oh god, what was I gonna say? Everyone that's pinned AJ over like the past month or so, or whatever,
that's
in a
thinking,
title match.
That's actually thinking smart.
Won't happen. Okay, so let's just say we're done with the Divas, because we could actually make the division better, but that's not going to happen.
What they need to do is bring back Finley.
Well, I want to address something I forgot to mention with the whole Triple H thing at the very beginning, when he was saying, like, talking about Batista. He's like, I'm so sick of movie stars coming back and want to be champions and all this. And then, like, 30 minutes later, we get a little promo for the guest hosts for next week.
Right.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Joe Manganiello. I think I'm butchering that last name, but I don't care. And then, if that's not enough celebrityness for the show, we also get the Mystery Machine and Scooby-Doo next week. Remind me again, are we on the road to WrestleMania?
Like, how does that even work? Like, are they just gonna have like a puppet or something?
Schwarzenegger
like,
and Joe are.
I was gonna say, they could. I was gonna say,
like, Scooby-Doo's a cartoon character. How the fuck are they gonna do that?
They could. I was gonna say
like,
they could go the Who Framed Roger Rabbit route, but of course that would actually cost money.
Well, and they
that'd be fucking impossible. It's live TV.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They
it's
can
live TV,
pre-tape it. They will likely have him backstage. They won't do it in the ring.
Oh, still. That or they'll have like a legit Great Dane that someone's done up to look like Scooby-Doo.
Mm-hmm.
God. Oh, God. And there's still...
and
who knows,
I bet they'll do that
too.
and then like have someone talk for it.
No.
I swear to God they'll do that.
No.
They will do that.
Oh, God.
It's WWE, they will do that.
Now, see, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Joe are promoting their movie Sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why on the road to WrestleMania? Why? What is the point? And if WWE is gonna promote any movie, why are they not promoting their own goddamn movie?
Why aren't they promoting Guardians of the Galaxy?
No. No, WWE. Have you seen this preview for this horror trailer about this mirror? Oculus?
No.
Oculus is a WWE film. This movie looks terrible.
No surprise
terrible.
there.
And after I realized it was a WWE film, I'm like, that's why it looks terrible.
WWE Films is like on the same level as the Asylum.
Yeah.
Okay? When it comes to movie making. Okay.
To be fair, though, I actually do like See No Evil.
See, I was about to say that's the exception.
That's
I
probably
like
the exception.
Now, while we're still talking about celebrities, we had the last and final inductee to the WWE Hall of Fame announced tonight. Mr. T.
Who?
And that's interesting, because I'm pretty sure... Didn't he, like, at one point say that he wouldn't go in because, like, Pete Rose or something went in
I don't
before
know.
him?
Who the hell
Or was that
cares?
someone else?
Who the hell cares? From the way it sounded, from the way they talked up Mr. T on this, Mr. T's the reason why we have entertainment in the WWE, and so Mr. T is the fault of the WWE this point in time.
Okay, then. So they're basically going to blame everything that's wrong with the company on Mr. T. Nice.
No, that's what I'm doing. Because, seriously, go watch the induction. Go watch this video they did for the induction. They pretty much credit Mr. T being a part of WrestleMania as WWE getting into the entertainment business. So essentially, he is...
Wasn't the Rock and Wrestling thing before that?
Shut up.
No, like, I'm questioning WWE's logic, not yours.
Oh, but... Well, no, but that's the thing. They're crediting him being here as why WWE was able to go into the entertainment business. This is why they're doing movies now with Halle Berry and all them.
Yeah, because Mr. T's never been in a decent movie.
Well, no. But the thing was, back when Mr. T was in there, it was huge news. So it makes it, and I think Schwarzenegger being on Raw is an excuse for a few years down the road for him to be inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah? That sounds about right. Have they inducted
Nah,
Ozzy
he has-
Osbourne yet?
No,
Oh.
they probably won't because
Eventually they're gonna-
Era.
Of course, though, eventually they're going to have to induct AC/DC because they used their, like, 2 songs for, like, 1 pay-per-view. And they've never done that with any other band, I don't think, so there you go.
But I mean, it's just
No, they're more likely to induct Motorhead. But anyway.
well. Okay, do you all know all the inductees to this year's Hall of Fame now?
Let's see. Trish.
No, Lita.
Lita.
Oh, sorry, Lita.
Now
Lita
Mr.
inducted by
T.
Trish, probably, though.
Paul Bearer.
Paul Bearer.
Yeah.
Which is
I
probably
swear
the
to
only
God,
legit
honestly,
No,
like,
no.
honestly, I think
Jake
they
the
should have
Snake.
waited
one. Jake the
until
Snake
they were
Roberts.
gonna...
Okay, never mind.
Ah, yeah. Is Scott Hall actually going in, or is
No,
that just
not
a
this year.
Okay.
So, the total
Hold
of...
on.
Is there any
No,
more?
there's 6 people.
6 people.
Shit.
I'm trying to remember, actually.
Wow. It just shows how technically lackluster, like, either less of a shit they seem to give this year, or just we've not really been paying
Jake the
attention.
Snake was the big one.
Let's see. Hopefully Wikipedia's got them all listed. If it has got them anyway. Let's see. Ultimate Warrior, Jake the
Oh,
Snake,
yes, the Ultimate
Warrior.
Warrior.
Lita,
He's the
Paul
headliner.
Bearer, Carlos.
But then
Oh
again,
yeah.
we haven't seen or
The
heard
clown.
anything from the... Right, we haven't heard anything about the
So-
Ultimate Warrior since the announcement.
Yeah. And now see, Carlos Colon was announced on SmackDown. And they made
Wow.
no reference to that last week on Raw
Right.
or this week. They kind of said they joined
And
him.
apparently he's going to be inducted. Oh wow! Apparently they're bringing Carlito in to help induct him.
Carlito, Epico, and Primo
Right.
will be inducting him.
Sounds
Think about
So
that.
right.
his
for a
sons and his nephew then.
I mean,
I'm surprised Carlito's coming back. Oh, then again, that's probably the
gonna
only
say-
reason Carlito's doing it.
I was going to say, Carlito is basically having the career of his lifetime on the Indies. And, no, seriously, he's having a way better career on the Indies than he ever did in WWE. Except for maybe his run with Ric Flair.
okay,
Let's see.
so
Lita, Paul Bearer, and Mr. T, the only people that don't have in it. Why the fuck is Linda McMahon inducting Ultimate Warrior? That makes no sense to me.
because E.
like-
WWE.
Like, I get Hogan's probably going to be the one to induct Mr. T, so okay, fine, that makes sense. He tagged with him. But like,
Have
Linda-
Triple H induct him.
Wouldn't that be something?
Have
Heck, have
I'm
Goldust
here tonight
induct
to
him.
induct the Ultimate Warrior.
Because Ultimate Warrior actually did have a feud with Goldust.
No, have
now-
Honky Tonk Man induct him.
Let's go ahead and move on because we're just gonna make more jokes here.
Right.
We're almost done here. We had an 8-man battle royal or 8-man tag team match, which had Big Show, Mark Henry, Dolph Ziggler, and Big E versus Ryback, Curtis Axel, Alberto Del Rio, and Damian Sandow.
Why?
These 8 participants are in the battle royale,
Okay.
so that's why this match happened.
Oh. Okay.
And Big Show got the win for the team.
So
And
who,
they're-
gets-
And
so
they're
who
hyping,
really
they're
gets
hyping
momentum
that Big
here?
Show's going to win the battle royale.
Oh. So they're going for the obvious one.
Oh, well, if anything, I was gonna say that'd be
Yeah.
why Big Show won the match then, because they're hyping a big guy battle royal.
Which now when you
Actually,
heard
you know what?
the
Fuck
battle
it.
royale,
Wait,
what you see that
listen.
coming.
Okay, listen. Big Show is winning this battle royale. Because this is the
Yeah,
Andre the
that would not
Giant
surprise
battle royale.
Mm.
Big Show is
You
winning
know what?
this.
That would
look.
actually be a half. You know, that'd be a half decent idea, is to only have big men in this battle royal,
But they don't have
and just have it be like a very small
Like, I'm
battle
actually-
royal.
I'm actually going to call it right now,
Actually,
and
there's
I'm
talk
saying
that
Big
Russo
Show
might
is
make it in the
winning
match.
this.
No. Actually, hold up. There's talk that they may put Ruscio or somebody, the NXT dude.
Rusev.
Oh,
Rusev.
that
He
Russian
might
guy.
debut
Yeah.
at WrestleMania.
Hmm.
On
He
the
already
main roster.
debuted in the Royal Rumble though.
Well, he hasn't had an official match since though.
Mm.
So there's talk. There's been talk about putting him on after WrestleMania, but there's talk about throwing him into that. But
Well, at least it'd be a battle royal, so it wouldn't like
actually,
him in
no.
actual
Now that I think
match.
about it, there was nothing about him on the show tonight.
Hmm?
No, Thomas, you laugh now, but every show they have her come out and they have him come out. They always have something. This is the first time they have not done this in a while.
He might have been doing NXT stuff.
No, NXT's been filmed weeks in advance already.
Alright.
There was no reason for him not to be on the show tonight. They did not put him on the show.
Might
This
have
is
got
the
injured.
like I said, this is the first time in like 2 months he has not been on the show. And he's made it on SmackDown every week.
Right.
Bloody hell.
So, okay, we talked about the Bray Wyatt promo.
But like I said,
then he
my
faced
money's
off
on Big
against
Show to
Kofi
win
Kingston.
that.
Yeah, which, who
Mm.
cares?
Yeah.
You can put money on Yoshitatsu. There's no reason to, there's no,
To be fair, Yoshitatsu has won a pre-show battle royal at
That's why I
WrestleMania,
said
so
Yoshitatsu.
He's got experience.
And the
That's
only
why I said-
reason he won that was
But-
because they were inducting Antonio Inoki. Which I'm sure
Anyway.
nobody knows about because
Bray
no
Wyatt
one around
versus-
here watches Japanese wrestling.
that's why I'm moving on. That's why we're ignoring that whole comment.
Exactly.
Bray Wyatt versus Kofi Kingston happened, which, if you watched and you kind of felt this was a repeat match, it's because it happened on SmackDown last week. So, there was that.
It's a copy and paste. They pasted
Yeah.
They copied from the SmackDown onto the Raw card. They were like the
Now,
they
tell
wouldn't-
you
Yeah,
that
they've
this,
been doing that for a while.
this was the main event of Raw. Because because this was the main wrestling match. Because the next thing was Triple H and Daniel Bryan promo,
Mm-hmm.
which went on it went way too long. Oh my god, this thing dragged on and on. And what we saw was Triple H come out. He called out Daniel Bryan. They start chatting, and then for some reason it looks like Triple H is turning face and saying, "Hey, I did all this because I respect you. I respect you as a wrestler. I do this. I blah 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 blah. I respect you." And then Stephanie comes out yelling with police officers telling him to arrest Daniel Bryan for last week, the Occupy Raw. And what we see is this so what WWE does, they turn this into a commentary on police brutality because they're like they're 6 cops, they're 6 people, and they've got them all pinned to the ground, and they get him handcuffed, and then Triple H goes in and says, "Guys, stop this! You guys aren't even real cops. Get out of the ring."
Okay.
The only thing missing from that was Triple H looking at the camera going, "Looks like I'm breaking the fourth wall. Hey, Colt Cabana, how's it going?" That's the only thing that thing was missing. It was a blatant slap in the face of CM Punk. Was that scene right there. So then Daniel Bryan is handcuffed, and then Triple H starts beating the holy hell out of him. This goes on for 20 minutes. It felt like the beatdown itself felt like 20 minutes.
Right.
And Triple H, I mean, this thing dragged on, and there was no payoff. There was no payoff for this. It was just Daniel Bryan getting his ass kicked again.
Again. Notice the term
Triple H
again.
probably got fined for a chair shot. Yeah. Triple H probably got fined for the chair shot that he did because it was a blatant headshot in the steel against the steel lining of the ring with his head there. It was clearly a headshot. But again,
Mick Foley spot.
this does nothing. This does not hype up the match between these two. This is the same thing we've seen since SummerSlam.
You know what's actually really sad that I thought of while we were... it might have been while we were talking before about this, like before we started podcasting, but like this entire setup where Bryan's got to beat someone to somehow be involved in the main event seems a lot like when Mick Foley had to beat Big Show to be a special guest referee in a title match at WrestleMania back in like the late 90s.
I want you to think about what you just said. That is sad. But then this whole card is sad. They have 5 matches announced for a 4-hour pay-per-view. 5 hour. 5 hours. 5 matches. Now, if I recall correctly, I think the Battle Royale is like every 2 to 3 minutes a new competitor is going to come out to the ring. So they're going to take up a lot of time with this. That's going to be over an hour and a half probably. So that's a cop-out match.
The irony is that most of the crowd's going to tune out for that anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So what you see is that's an hour and a half, at least. We're going to say an hour and a half because that's how long those 30-minute stuff usually lasts.
Right.
So you got that. So now you have 2.5 hours left. No, I'm sorry, 3.5 because you have the pre-show. You're going to have the 10-minute thing about the Hall of Fame inductees. You got Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. John Cena's going to have a 20-minute entrance.
It's going to be like a fucking 5 minutes wasted with someone singing.
Yeah. Triple H versus Daniel Bryan's going to happen. That's probably going to have about a 30-minute match.
Actually, you know what they'll probably do? They'll probably have Saliva come out and actually perform Batista's theme song.
Well, no, there's talk about
That's
Bray
wishful
Wyatt.
thinking.
That's going to cost too much money, though. Bray Wyatt might have a live...
They did it twice with The Rock, though.
The
They had,
Rock
like,
is different.
Two guys... No, like, they had both Cena and The Rock have songs performed before they even came out.
Yeah, at
But that was
WrestleMania...
Rock
and then they
Cena.
At WrestleMania 28, they didn't do that at 29.
That was
And that seems
different,
like
though.
such a waste of time, dude.
But the thing is, the whole thing is a waste of time. The Divas are going to have some 10-minute match. You got,
You know what they should do? They should throw in a random, out of nowhere NXT showcase match.
well,
just
that's
for
the
the
thing.
fuck of
They
it.
probably will. Just because.
Which honestly, I'd be fine with that because it's like at least you're letting them do something.
No, you know what needs to happen at WrestleMania this year? Sami Zayn versus Cesaro.
Yes.
That would work.
Yeah,
Because
give
if
them
you
an
saw
hour.
if you watched NXT Arrival, these
Yes,
two can put on a clinic.
Like that was the best. That was the fucking best WWE associated match I've seen in years.
That was a wrestling match. But I mean, it's... You know, I have a thing going on the night of WrestleMania with my job.
So
And
do
I have no issue missing this.
Oh yeah, I'm not watching it live.
And
No
I'm
way.
certainly-
I'll watch it after.
I'm certainly not paying 60
listen
to
to
80
podcasts.
bucks for this either.
Yeah.
Oh fuck no.
We will still... I'm still wanting to do a podcast right after WrestleMania. But it won't be anyone... I don't think any of us will actually watch it, but I still want to do one after WrestleMania. I'll try to watch whatever I missed. Like, I'll try to watch whatever left, I should say, when I get back to my apartment here. But, honestly, I don't feel like I'm going to miss much.
I'm sure.
Because-
I'm sure. D will keep us updated. There's your
Oh, yeah.
reference, D.
You got another
If you're
reference.
listening
Now
to
get a
this.
fucking mic already. You could be in
Yeah,
on this.
I haven't watched a pay-per-view live in a while, and that's mainly because streams suck. But yeah,
Well, but
I'll watch it after the fact, but I'm not watching it live. Fuck it.
it just
Even
feels,
even if I could find a good stream, I wouldn't watch this live. It'd be
Yeah.
worth it.
it just feels like WWE is putting way too much time into the network, and I've talked about this with other people. The network is taking up so much time; it's affecting the quality program we're getting on TV.
As if it wasn't already bad, anyways.
Oh! Wait a second. I forgot about this. During the whole Bryan getting his ass kicked thing at the end,
Mm-hmm.
the crowd started to CM Punk chat.
Yeah.
On it, they did.
You
Out
know
of
what?
nowhere,
Like at
See?
first it was
At that point, you know,
like,
that's how you know that they've seen enough already.
yeah, I think it's becoming the new Zack Ryder chant, where like they don't really necessarily want Zack Ryder, but they're just bored, so they start chanting something.
Well, because I mean, it's the same goddamn thing every week now.
Mm-hmm.
Bryan comes out, Bryan gets his ass kicked. Bryan comes out, Bryan gets his ass kicked.
Mm.
Can we not try something different?
And like, you know what's sad is like a lot of people are like so fucking happy that Bryan will most likely be in the main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
but at the
okay.
same time, it's like just because he's going to be in it doesn't mean he's going to win.
Now, see, okay, you bring up a good point here. This is something I completely forgot. This is what I was talking about in my podcast too. Bryan will be involved in the main event at WrestleMania against Batista and Randy Orton. Batista's winning the title.
Mm.
Like, I don't.
If anything, I think the irony is this is a backhanded thing where they're like, oh, you want him in the main event? Fine.
No, that's
He's going to be the guy. He'll be the guy that gets the fall.
See,
That
that's
takes the
another
fall, I
thing.
should say.
That's what I said too.
Yeah.
Bryan's going to eat an RKO. Batista's going to throw Randy Orton out of the ring. Then Batista's going to Batista bomb Bryan and then pin him. That way, Orton doesn't get pinned. So these two can continue to face each other. And then Bryan, and then WWE can be like, okay, Bryan got his title match. Back down you go the ladder.
Yeah. Which the funny thing is what's going to be? It's going to be the same as Elimination Chamber. The crowd's just going to go dead.
Yeah.
Or what I really hope for is that they start throwing stuff at Batista. That would be so amazing. Like, what a way to end a WrestleMania, just the crowd throwing stuff at Batista.
No, I mean, they might surprise us and actually have Bryan win the title, but he'll lose the title.
He'll lose the title like the next day.
Well, yeah, that's it. He'll have a Kane title reign or something.
No, he'll have a title reign like he's had every other title reign.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Won't even go
Like-
24 hours.
Mm.
He has yet to have a full 24-hour run as champion.
Has he? I thought he did.
No.
Like, he had one that
No.
lasted from one pay-per-view to the next.
No. He won at SummerSlam and then lost the title the same night.
5 minutes
He
later.
won-
And he,
Yeah, he won
Yeah,
the
then
title
he
back
won it-
from Randy
yeah.
Orton, and then the next night got it taken away.
shit.
He's a two-time champion, and both of his reigns combined
Mm.
aren't even at full 24 hours.
You know, honestly, if he wins the title at Mania and, like, holds it until, like, even just Extreme Rules, I'd be satisfied.
It's not going to happen.
Mm.
WWE is going to put the title on Batista to help promote Guardians of the Galaxy and the WWE.
Mm. Yeah, like, the sad thing is WWE's always really late on pulling the trigger. By the time they finally give Bryan a decent title run, no one will care.
That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
They
Like,
don't
by
want
the time
Bryan
they
to be
find...
top
Yeah.
guy.
Mm.
They're just
I
waiting
just mean,
for the
like,
snag.
yeah, like, when they finally decide, okay, now we do want to actually give this guy a legitimate shot, the
They
crowd
don't.
won't care anymore.
They don't want to give this guy a legitimate shot.
Mm.
They don't.
Yeah,
That's
well, I'm
why
just like
he's
me.
been-
If they ever finally decide, well, okay, let's give him the belt for like a month or two, it'll be after the crowd's just given up.
You
Yeah,
do
and
know
then they'll
that.
be like,
I was gonna say, do you know that WWE has already picked their top guy for the next generation Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And that's going to blow up in their face, too.
Mm.
But I think we've gone on long enough with this. I don't even think we need final thoughts, honestly. It's just tweet Curtis Axel your complaints about WrestleMania right now.
Ask him if he's looking forward to the Battle Royal.
Yeah, ask him how his father would feel about him being in there.
As far as like,
ask him
as
if
far
we
as
get someone else other than like Mike Tyson or Mr. T into the Hall of Fame. But
like as far as like final thoughts go for me,
I said
it's like
none.
just like one more thing. WrestleMania last year was to me was pretty much complete shit, and this looks like it's going to be worse than that. So there you go.
Which is what we pretty much probably been saying for like the past hour, however long we've been doing this now.
Right.
But you know, this is where we're going to end for now. We might do another one.
We might do a final preview before WrestleMania.
But we might, but we will try to do one for WrestleMania, whether we watch it or not.
Yeah.
But for now, we're going to go ahead and get off here. We should be back up for Impact this week.
Mm-hmm. Make sure to watch our podcast on where we give our thoughts on WWE Slam City. I guarantee you, it will be 10 times better than anything you heard in this podcast.
Yeah, and it's going to be shorter than this, but it is so much more entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had more fun in that. This is just disappointment. That was pure excitement. So yeah, be sure to check that out. Watch the rest of our stuff. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Follow both of our PTVP Wrestling and Pastime Viewpoint pages. Go find our website. We are still live, surprisingly. But yeah, we might get more. We might actually get some written content. Oh no, we have the Batman or the Arkham Knight thing up. We finally got that up.
Yes, just to note, Pastime Viewpoint is more than just a wrestling website.
Yeah, we are more than just wrestling. But for now, we're going to go ahead and sign off. For Thomas and Gil and myself, see you all next time, and follow the buzzards.
We will leave you with Jeff's favorite song.
I take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and the happy times are coming to stay. I gotta sing and I dance when I glance in my pants, and the feeling's like a sunshiny day. I take a look at my enormous penis, and everything is going my way.